Welcome back. We're into part 2 of our Muse 3D project. Today, hopefully we can get everything connected up and turn on, and if we're lucky and we have time, maybe we'll do a test print. So stick around. Hi, I'm Steve, and this is Steve Makes Everything. But as noted in the last video, we're not actually making something today. We're assembling the rest of our Muse 3D laser cutter and engraver, and hopefully by the end of it we can turn things on and maybe make a test print. So what I did to make this easier was I moved my cutter off of my bench and put it on the table. This is my wheel table, by the way, which if you watch a couple videos back, you can see how to make one of these. They're actually quite convenient. Anyway, we have the cool box, we have our vent output, and our printer, of course, and everything I think we'll need to make things happen here. So let me just move things around here. I did manage to hopefully get everything to the point where we can see everything. Let me just make sure that, let me move the table back a bit here. So first thing we want to do is put our vent pipe on. I'll show you a quick video of how the venting is. Maybe you can see it in the background here. I successfully drilled a hole through the wall and put the pipe in so it's a more permanent fix. And it should be good. I'm actually going to change it a little bit later on, but for now, it'll do just fine. So this is pretty straightforward. It's just 4 screws. And we can quickly get these in. And I'll try not to block the camera too much, although putting screws in isn't all that exciting, really. Okay, last one. Okay, so setup should be actually pretty quick here. We have a couple of silicone rubber hoses, which are for the water cooling. And you can see you have a little loop on both sides, the cool box and the printer. These are just for shipping. So we'll start with water in. You can see a little water coming out there. Water in here will go to water out on the cool box, and similarly, and no surprise, water out on the cutter goes to water in on the cool box. Now we have a number of cables. And these are, let me just move back here a little. These are to drive the box. They're a little short actually, but we'll make them work. So this one is for the cool box control. And we want the one with the 4 pins. They made this pretty easy so that it's pretty hard to make a mistake. Now we have one more hose to hook up, so let's do that now. This is the air blower for the laser. What it does is just blows as the laser's cutting so that it takes away some of the smoke so it doesn't mar the wood if you're cutting wood. And these just press on. Okay. And then we have our power. They actually have a separate power switch for the cool box, so we'll just leave this up on top for now. And we have a power cord for that, which we'll just stick in. And we have a power cord for the printer, which we can plug in there. So that's pretty much it. I mean, it's pretty easy to get set up. And now I'll cut away. I'll show you how I did the venting, and I'll get some help, and I'll move the cutter back up on the bench, and we'll turn it on and see what happens. So one of the most important things you have to do is vent your laser so that any toxic fumes or just fumes in general don't vent out into your workspace. So what I did, I mentioned in the unboxing, was cut a circular hole in the wall using my 4-inch hole saw and slid the pipe through it. It was actually a little longer than I needed, so I cut a bit of it off. What I want to do, because it does get cold where I live, what I'm going to do with this is I'll put a flange right here at the wall, which allows me to open or close a baffle so that cold air doesn't come in when I'm not using it. And I'll show you that later. If people are interested, I can do a quick construction video and upload it so people can use it. Okay, and here we are. We've turned on the machine and we're just waiting for it to start up. And our cool box is sitting over here. I need to put some water in that. Now, I mentioned in the previous video, I won't use just straight water, even though my workshop is heated. There are times when we get cold weather here, and I really, if there was some kind of power failure like there can be in my neighborhood, I don't really want water to freeze in there. If we look inside at the laser tube back here, this laser tube is actually a water jacket, so there's water fills the inside to keep it cool. And if that water freezes, you're in kind of serious trouble. So you can see down below here, we have the sighting laser. And if we look over on the display, we're ready to start up. And it's actually starting. And we have to agree to some kind of dangerous alert, which means we're going to burn our house down if we don't pay attention. You know, safety measure there, never leave your laser unattended. It's basically, you know, a fire starter, so not something you want to do. And you can see we're started up, and hopefully we can move here. And we can move focus up and down. So we're good to go. All that's left, I want to put the crumb tray in, and I'll mix up my coolant. I'll mix it about 60-40, maybe a little weaker, 40 being the propylene glycol. So I'll be back when I have that mixed up. We're ready to print now. Everything is up and running. The pump is going, and I have the laser on, and you can see inside I laid down a piece of cardboard, and because it's cardboard, I was a bit worried that it would blow around because there's actually a lot of wind with the fans running, so I just taped it down just to make sure. And so we'll just etch something onto that really quickly just to test it. So I'll go back to the computer. I have RE3 up and running, and you can see the white area here is the workspace, which is empty right now. So first thing we want to do is capture the workspace so we can see where our material is. And what it does is it'll take 9 photos and stitch them together into one larger photo. And this won't take very long. You can already see the image coming out there. Sorry if my camera jerks around a bit. The Osmo is being temperamental for me right now. Okay, there we have our workspace. Now you can see our material. So let's put something on it. So Full Spectrum provides some just clip art that we can use. And just for a quick test, we'll start with one of these. So if we grab, well, the biohazard, why not? And we can size it, move it around. Let's make it maybe that big. Now, because this is cardboard, it's probably not good to try and etch. So what I'll do is we'll cut down the power, and for speed too. I don't want to sit for 10 minutes while a video prints. So you can see there's two component paths. If I turn one of them off, you'll see it's the inside. That's the actual etching, and the other one is the outline. Now, because this outline is normally something we would cut, and I don't want to do that, I'll lower the power, and I've kind of tweaked it down over here to about 20%. That should be enough not to cut through. And with that, we can just hit the start button, and we can get going. And you can hear, as soon as I did that, the pump kicked on, and the laser has now started. And it's cutting, well, engraving in this case. And over here on the display, you can see the live view and also the time it's going to take. It says it's got about 17 seconds left there. And now I do notice, I just have the regular fan that comes built into the box, and I can notice a slight smell of paper. It's not too bad, but more likely I will probably I'll probably put an inline fan, a bigger inline fan in, to make sure that the venting works properly. Anyway, it's now printed, and we'll just give it a second here for the fumes to clear out. And I know it's hard to see on the camera with all those lights, but if I pull this out and have a look at it, you can see our wonderful biohazard. I can just feel a bit of etching there, so it wasn't enough to cut through. And there we have it. Next stop, some lumber of some sort, plywood or acrylic, anything that you can imagine. So there we go. The Muse is now installed and set up and ready to go. So final thoughts, it works quite well. It's put together very nicely, and all I can say is good things to Full Spectrum Laser for producing such a nice little product. Anyway, I'll do a few more things in future videos. You'll see lots of stuff that uses laser cutting and engraving, and if you need anything, if you need any additional information, just add a comment to the video below, to the into the video, and we can set something up. Anyway, that's kind of it for setup and first cut. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, because I'm really trying to build the channel up, and we'll continue to make things. And now we have yet another tool in our arsenal to make something really cool. Anyway, see you next time.